Welcome summoners to one of the most important videos of this event. We are not here to make a simple guide or to review technical data. This is a choice of fate, a decision that can mark a before and after in your Marvel account. Superhero Battle. Today we present the definitive top 6 of this Renaissance event. A unique, special, exclusive event that has come to reward the most committed, those who have been at the foot of the canyon throughout. This week's completing objectives, collecting fragments until you reach the minimum 3 rebirth touches this selector asks for. And that's where the madness unleashes, because with these 3 tokens, as I said, in your possession, you can access the special 7-star champion selector, and failing that 6-star with characters that alone can take you to the throne of content, end raids, or be the most feared defenders or attackers of the entire alliance thanks to the NOS ships. Kaban has brought us, but of course, who you choose and if you're wrong is worth more use or harm deserves double. Defensive or offensive priority, relax, that's what you're here for. For that, I have prepared this personal topper 6 in which I am going to analyze as always with objectivity, strategy, experience. Who are the true titans of this selector and why should you make room for them now on your roster? But remember, this is an opinion based on actual performance, and what if you have a different vision? I want to read it in the comments, always with respect, that here we all learn from everyone. The important thing is to grow together as a community and care, because this is what interests you, especially if you're stuck with the crucible of Act 8. I know there are annoying nodes, long fights, or lack of time, so if you want to advance quickly, I will personally pass it on to you for a reduced price. My WhatsApp number is in the description. You write to me and I'll tell you how we do it. Easy, fast, and guaranteed. So you know, this video is not just a list, it's a guide, it's a decision. It's your chance to take the giant leap in your progress, your account, and your game mastery. So get ready, because you're about to meet the 6 best characters you can get from the Renaissance Selector. Know well, strategy, damage, defense, utility, crazy combos, and decisions that can change everything. In rank number 6 comes from the depths of mutant savagery, the brutal, the unstoppable, the bloodthirsty, Sabertooth Victor Chris, better known as Teeth Sabretes, than one of Wolverine's most iconic enemies, and a mutant with absolutely ferocious physical abilities. His healing factor allows him to resist during long fights, his claws tear through the opponent's flesh, and his battle set transforms him into a true beast on the battlefield, a predator who when he goes on a rampage has no mercy on anyone but summoners this top. It is demanding, and that is why Sabretooth remains in position number 6. It's not because he's bad at all. In fact, he has solid damage, applies constant bleeds, and his duplication needs are not mandatory. But if we look at the rest of the mutants in the meta, we find a fan of brutal mutants that totally eclipse him, dubbed their Cyclops, Mr. Sinister, Oslout. The competition is fierce, and in that context, Sabertooth fails to stand out like the others, as well as their style of play. It requires time to accumulate furies, transform them into passives, repeat the cycle. All of this means that long missions may work better, but faster-paced content to consumption can feel slow or even tedious. That's why Sabertooth stays in this position. Don't underestimate him. At the right nodes, he can rip apart without compassion, but he doesn't lead the pack this time. Today, it's his turn to hunt from the rear. Taking 5th place, Night Tracer Twin Tailor emerges from the shadows with precision, clad in armor and armed to the teeth. This power-free vigilante wields an unyielding determination that grants him a spot in the fierce competition. The founder of the New Warriors and master of hand-to-hand combat, Night Tracer makes up for the lack of mutant or cosmic abilities with pure strategy, gadgets, and technology with an unwavering will. But despite all his preparation, Night Tracer occupies the number 5 position in this Renaissance top. The reason? His absolute dependence on the duplicate. If a summoner, without his unique ability, Niketra Acer, is left lame, loses damage, loses utility, and most importantly, loses his ability to sustain the Korea, which directly impacts his offensive performance. And let's be honest, are you willing to spend an awakening gem on him to raise him to maximum rank with Stone? Singularity. For many, the answer will be a clear no. But if you decide to do it, if you bet on it, if you take it to the max and wake it up, then yes friend, the landscape changes totally. His blows become critical, brutal, he maintains constant and scalable damage, and he transforms into a very solid attacker, ideal for content where the pace of combat remains firm and opponents allow punishment without interruptions. So if Nitrasen may be a threat, but it needs that push to shine. Today it is his turn to 5th position because in this selector the competition is fierce and it is not enough to be good. You have to be exceptional from the beginning. At number 4, Voodoo Master, Shadow Sorcerer, Ancestral Spirit of the Baju Dr. Voodoo Jericho Drum, better known as Dr. Voodoo, is much more than just a sorcerer. He is a master of the mystical arts of Haitian Voodoo, successor to the Sorcerer Supreme himself, and bearer of the spirit of his deceased brother. He connects with the lower spiritual entities that grant him powers that go beyond the earthly, an iconic and mysterious character who casts spells and curses with lethal elegance. At Mother's Batea, Dr. Voodoo's resurgence is undeniable as his recent buff revitalized his potential, catapulting him back as a top contender. To defending other champions, Dr. Voodoo doesn't desperately need his duplicate to function. Sure, having it duplicated improves its consistency, applies its charges more easily, Loa increases the property of placing key disadvantages, and makes it more versatile in combat. But even without her, he's still a fearsome wizard. His power especially shines when facing champions, which generate a lot of upgrades, because that's where he can make the most of his Nullify Kit. And now, with his new power dissolving ability, he inflicts continuous damage as he drains from the enemy's bar, something no opponent can ignore, and that's not all. Specific confrontations such as against Darfinis where others fall easily. Dr. Voodoo stands out as a natural counter, able to keep at bay with his control, his power, and his air outlet. Ancestral for all these reasons, for his versatility, his new improved damage, his great magical usefulness, and for not completely depending on a duplicate to yield, Dr. Voodoo more than earns this number 4 spot in the top dark spirits, blessings of Loa, and ancestral magic. Dr. Voodoo is back and comes with force from the shadows. In position number 3 from the Artificial Intelligence Laboratories and the owners of a fallen Avenger comes the unstoppable and brilliant Syntheroid prodigy, Bing Vision Bing, daughter of the legendary Vision, is an artificial being created with emotions, with science and soul, born to be human but forged with the most advanced systems in the Marvel Universe. A young heroine, powerful and with a unique connection to technology. BF struggles to find his place in the world as he melts shield, overcomes barriers, and annihilates rivals with ruthless logic and mathematical precision in Marvel Beats Superheroes. Vision is a technological gem, a champion that shines with its own light, but only if you know how to take advantage of it. The Essentials, his rejoinder. Without her, B-Vision is a good character. With it, it transforms into a destructive and efficient spamming machine. Thanks to his awakened ability, he can place the vulnerability disadvantage, and when he launches his super attack sum, this vulnerability occurs on critical energy hits that melt the opponent's health bar. But that's not all, it doubles it. It also gives him the ability to increase his power quickly, allowing him to cast several special ones in a row, creating a destructive loop of constant damage that is difficult to counter without it. Maybe you can throw 1, maybe 2 specials, but with the double 3, 4, or even 5 in a row, an unstoppable battle pace that leaves the enemy breathless. Beep Vision requires concentration, strategy, and precision. But if you control it and carry it well armed, it becomes one of the best tech options for quick sieges, explosive damage, and combat control. Intelligent, ruthless, and efficient, Beep Vision does not seek to fight with anger, but with calculation, power, and perfect execution. And that is why she rises in the top 3 of this event by Rebirth del Selector, a young champion with a bright future if you decide to give her the place she deserves. In post number 2, from the depths of the Laboratory of Despair, forged in the fusion between a symbiote and a soul-seeking redemption, comes the terrifying and unstoppable, the reborn Antivenom. Antivenom is not just another symbiote, it is the evolution of Eddie Brock fused with a healing white symbiote, an entity that seeks not revenge but redemption through controlled fury created from an experimental mix of antibodies and altered symbiote. Anti-Venom possesses an immune body, diseases, radiation, magic, and almost all kinds of evil, and now he is also a total threat on the Marva 3 Superior Battlefield, which is what makes him so special after his BU. It has become a highly recommended, versatile, and solid option in both attack and utility, and best of all, it doesn't need the duplicate to shine. If you heard it right, with or without Awakening, Anti-Venom has an excellent ability to apply fatigue, weaken, and exhaustion disadvantages. They negate upgrades, lower damage and against the enemy, accumulate damage progressively in long fights, and maintain a very stable rotation for all types of content, including wars, variants, and even raids. But if you awaken it, then be prepared to unlock its true potential. Consolidation, unique, active, regenerates life by blocking hits, gains power every time you block an attack. This allows him to cast super attacks more frequently, which triggers his damage. It makes him more self-contained and surprisingly hard to knock down. His style of play is aggressive and controlled by applying strategic disadvantages while maintaining constant pressure on the opponent, and all this makes him a consistency machine, a sharp tool for any summoner who wants to have a complete champion without relying exclusively on the RNG or complex mechanics. Anti-Venom is for intelligent players who want to have a champion who does a little of everything and everything well, and that is why Anti-Venom proudly takes the number 2 position in this top, a symbiotic beast. Redeemed and improved, ready to fight evil with more evil. And in position number 1 comes the Titan, the Destroyer, the Supreme Enforcer of Thanos, the unstoppable, colossal, and crushing Colosseum, member of the Black Order, arm of the Mad Titan's will. Colosseum is more than a simple warrior. He is an unstoppable force of devastation that ravages everything in its path. A champion forged to crush without mercy and to conquer without stopping. With his massive axe and indestructible armor, Cool enters the battlefield like a tsunami of power, sweeping through defenses, ignoring blockades, and bursting enemies' health bars like paper, because it is the top number of this top reward, because with the gem upon proper awakening, KHL stops being a beast to become a god of destruction. His unique ability is key, allowing him to reap his ruthlessness, an improvement that exponentially increases his damage with each combo hit. Also, by being duplicated, he accesses a brutal fury upgrade, turning each hit into a celestial slap that wipes out entire health bars without the duplicate. Cool is still useful, but his brutality can only be used once, which greatly limits his presence in long fights, especially against defenders with a lot of life. But when you wake him up, ouch! When you wake him up there, he goes into total berserker mode. His blows begin to sound like explosions, and his presence in the field is as intimidating as the nodes themselves tremble. Therefore, if you have a Rebirth gem or Awakening an Obsidian, it should be on your radar. He must be on your team because this champion doesn't come to talk, he comes to demolish. And the more time he spends in combat, the stronger he becomes, the more damage, the more fury, the more brutality, a cycle of unbridled power that lifts you up without question. As the re-absolute of this Rebirth Selector, Colosseum is the true end of the road for your enemies, and that is why he is crowned with total deservedly with the number 1 position of this top, a brutal titan, a ruthless destroyer. The ultimate champion of this event will come back. And with these summoners, we close the definitive top of the Renaissance Selector. We have traveled deep into the Nexus, we have unearthed champions made by vegetables, exposed weaknesses, and crowned the Supreme King of this epic event. Some characters depend on their duplicate, others shine with unique abilities, but they all have something in common. They can radically change your account if you choose them wisely. Remember that this Selector is not achieved easily or just like that. To obtain it, you have to complete the Sun mission in Act 8, a test of fire that not everyone manages to overcome. So, if you need help, you're not alone. You have my WhatsApp in the video description to hire my personalized help at a totally reduced price and complete that mission effectively without frustration and with a guaranteed reward. Don't miss this opportunity because this Selector can mark a before and after, then on your account, and now you tell me. Which of these champions do you plan to choose? Do you agree with this top or do you think another should be higher? Leave it in the comments with respect and without insulting, because here we are all part of this community. Summoner who loves games, combat, and power. So friends, I hope you liked the video. Bye bye. And before finishing the video, Thank you very much to all of you who are members of the channel for becoming a member. You got it in the description. Many thanks to the VIP Sori of Ana Banana, Eliel Ramirez, and Oscar Salmeron, and to the authentic Sori of Facundo Juan. Thank you all very much.